Keep the Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. TK. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock. TK. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah. The Most High is my rock. Rock, rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutting. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So
Shalom Israel.
Shalom.
Shalom everybody online. Welcome to another live class here at 8524 South Brazier Boulevard, Houston, Texas 77071. Our class time is Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m., Friday 6 to 8, and Saturday's Shabbat class from 10 to 2. We also have a school in San Antonio at 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas 78217. Class days are Tuesday through Saturday. We also are in Virginia at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia 23517. Class times are every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9, Friday 7 to 9. Okay? And then we also have a school in Albuquerque at 7710 Manial Boulevard, Suite F, Albuquerque, New Mexico 87110. If you're local in any one of these areas, please feel free to join us for class. Watch our previously recorded kids classes on YouTube under ISBHPK Kids. And then the kids have kids class on the Sabbath at 2 p.m. Okay? We have an upcoming feast day, the Feast of the Memorial of the Blowing of the Trumpets on the 27th of September. That's going to be here at the school at 9 p.m. Okay, so the 27th of September, here at the school at 9 p.m. If you're local, feel free to come through and congregate with us for that feast day. And then we have the Day of Atonement on October the 6th, and then the Feast of Tabernacles on October the 11th. Okay? If you need any garments, the sisters are accepting orders on Facebook under Everything Israel Wear, one word. They're also doing a raffle for a full garment, headband, tunic, armbands, girdles. $3 a ticket. The drawing will be on the 27th of September. The school department is also selling fringe shirts, and she's going to put up the flyers and the images for those for the garments. If you need to reach a teacher, you can reach me at 303-557-8979. You can reach Paris Kazakia, 281-707-2737. You can email us at isbhpk@isbhpk.org. For any donations you'd like to give, any alms, any vows, priest offerings, anything you want to give, you can mail them to any one of those schools. We also have the Wells Fargo. We have the Google Wallet. Any school supplies, pens, papers, cars, clothes, anything you want to give, canned food, you can mail them to the schools. Any monetary donations, you can send those to the Google Wallet and the Wells Fargo. All right, that's going to be it for our announcements. Hopefully I got everything. So what we're going to do, we're going to let Freestyle 1 go into his class, pretty good one, that he got set up for y'all. And what you going to be going into?
Basically, I titled the class Science Lies. And, we've been raised in this country, man. We've been raised in our captivity to basically go off of what they tell us. They raise us in their schools, their educational system. They give us what they say are the facts, right? Mm-hmm. Problem is if you got the Spirit on you start seeing their lies for what they are. And really, when the Most High chooses you out of this world, He puts that Spirit on you, and you start questioning. You start wondering, like, wait a minute. Oh, if you said this over here, then why is this over here? You see that?
Right.
You can't just you wake up to the things that are being told to you, and you can't just go along with everything that's just fed to you, like the sheep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't just go be steered wherever they point you to. When the Most High chooses you out of this world, He puts that Spirit on you, and it's like, you know what? That's a lie. You know what? I smell BS right now. Y'all see that?
Right.
So the first thing we gotta understand, man, and I'm gonna go through a lot of the things that a few of the things that they teach you in science classes and in their false educational system. But one of the main things you gotta know is that the scriptures are true above all else. All right. We're going to go to Job chapter 13, verse 4. When the Most High said this about the people we are in captivity to, He was not lying. All right, He was 100% on point. So we're going to go to Job chapter 13 and verse 4. And we got to understand what educational system we've been brought up in. We've been brought up in the Edomite educational system, the Greek, Roman, regurgitated educational system, which is all in worship to their gods, to their imaginary beings, and to things that they dreamed up in their own mind. All right? So we're going to go to Job 13, verse 4 real quick.
Book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 4.
And I like the precept they added with that, so we're going to go to Psalms 119, verse 69.
But ye are forgers of lies.
So we got to understand, Job was talking about the Edomites here. He was talking about Esau. All right? And he said, you are forgers of lies. So this Edomite empire we've been brought up in and under, and how we've been educated, they're forgers of lies. They make lies. That's really all they know how to do. There's nothing that has come out of America that has been true. I don't care if you start from its inception. You can go into your history book and you read about how America was birthed and the birth of this so-called great nation. And we had the Boston Tea Party right before we won our independence. The Boston Tea Party, where you guys committed a false flag operation, where you dressed up like Native Americans in order to piss off King George in Britain, who was friends with the Native Americans. So you dress up like Native Americans, threw King George's tea into the harbor so that he would have a bitterness against the Native Americans and let you slaughter them. That's a false flag operation. That's like what they did with 9/11, where they crashed planes into the World Trade Center tower, supposedly, right? Blow that up, and then blame it on the people in Iraq. Iraq who haven't been at war with anybody for 3,000 years.
Con.
Right? So you got a bunch of poor goat farmers sitting on a bunch of oil over there across the country, getting bombed out of their damn wits, not knowing that not even knowing we declared and started a war with them. And because they supposedly are sitting on weapons of mass destruction. Did they ever find those?
La.
They never found no weapons of mass destruction? Oh, okay.
To this day.
But they found a bunch of oil and gold and drugs, right?
Con.
Yeah, because we know what the real target was. But just knowing that, seeing their track record, right?
Right.
Just in the short time some of y'all have been alive, maybe we'll say the last 50 years, you look at America's track record and all they've been doing is lying to us. To anybody that's 50 and under, you've been nothing but lied to. Continuously.
Con.
Like, at least World War II, there was an Adolf Hitler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least there was a guy kind of doing some bad things over there, maybe. But over here, in this world that you've been brought up in, nah. You've been brought up with nothing but lies, man. You find out the truth about Muammar Gaddafi, you find out about Saddam Hussein, you find out about all these guys, and it's like, damn. All they did was try to stay away from the International Monetary Fund and have gold-backed money. But we got lied to and told that they're the bad guy. Yep. They want to take our freedom from us. We got to stop them. Y'all see that?
Con.
So your whole track record, if you're under 50, you just been lied to continuously. The scripture's true, man. Read it again.
Job chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies.
Right, he said, you are forgers of lies. This Edomite empire that you're raised up under, they're makers and forgers and crafters of lies, man. They're cunning crafters of lies. Read.
Ye are all physicians of no value.
Right, and they've worked on you in such a way. They've committed surgery on your brain in such a way that your brain is worth nothing. Seriously, I was really a fan of the educational system. So when I came up, man, you know, a lot of people would tell you, oh yeah, they thought he's so smart, blah 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 blah. When I really consider it through the eyes of the Most High, I'm like, damn, I don't know nothing, man. Like everything they taught me was garbage. Like I have to go back and be like I remember all these random ass facts, you know what I mean? Like osmosis is the diffusion of water through a selectively permeable membrane. I gotta go back and question that. I gotta be like, damn, I have this encyclopedic knowledge of certain things, but who told me that thing? You know what I mean? That's like, yeah, you could have the encyclopedic knowledge of the whole world if you want to, but if the person that told you lied to you, do you really have any knowledge?
Wow.
Yeah, well, God, you ain't got knowledge.
The knowledge of wickedness is not knowledge at all.
Right, like
Wisdom of wickedness.
you know, you can sit here and quote like what is tort law and what is Turner pressure and what is, you know, I could quote all these big words and everything, but
yeah,
what if some whack job out of his damn mind just made all that crap up?
Man. God.
See, that will really blow your mind, man, and it will really destroy your look on reality. And you really have to erase everything you've ever learned when you start learning the scriptures, because you will not find one lie in the scripture. They prove the things of the scriptures every day. They say Noah's Ark, you know, during his time, the whole earth flooded, right? And then, you know, they find some crustacean that only lives miles underwater, under the sea, in the mountains. You're like, okay, so at one point, the earth was covered in water. That's a proven fact, right? The scriptures say that, you know, during Moses' time, they crossed through the Red Sea, and Pharaoh and his chariots and all his people end up underwater, right? Then, lo and behold, they find a video, and this guy did some deep sea diving around that area, and boom, there's a chariot wheel that belonged to that exact pharaoh of that time frame, 1600 BC, and it's still down there at the bottom of the ocean. Well, damn, that's proven fact, right? When's the last time you saw a black hole?
Not never.
Oops. We'll go into that though, man, because there's I got pictures and video, because I don't want to go too far left like I do, man. But let's go. Read that again. Job 13:4.
Job.
And hit that Psalms 116:9 or 119-69.
Job chapter 13 verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies.
So this educational system you have been brought up in, they're forgers of lies, man. They sit around crafting and making lies expertly. Go ahead.
Ye are all physicians of no value.
And they are physicians of no value. Your society you've been brought into, it's not meant to heal you. It's meant to hurt you. It's meant to damage you.
Come.
Go ahead, get that Psalms.
Psalms chapter 119 verse 69. The proud have forged a lie against me.
Right, and there they are. Who is it that did it? The proud did it. The ones that are too prideful to say, you know what, we don't know everything. We think this Bible you can give a lot of credit to it. No, the proud are the ones that they want to hold themselves up as if they are the Most High. You understand?
Come on.
They want to hold themselves up as if they are God. And so when they get caught in a lie, all they do is off the person that discovered it. Right? Like, okay, we got caught molesting kids. What happens? Oh, the guy suicided himself. That's weird. He was in a room where there's no possible way you could commit suicide in there. Yeah, but we don't want the truth to be uncovered about us. Rather than them just let the truth come out, they would rather cover up and lie and murder and deceive even further. Right? Oh, you guys landed on the moon? How did that happen when you got a whole scientist that's saying that there's Van Allen radiation belts and there's no possible way you could leave Earth's atmosphere? Oh, no, we got these guys. Buzz over here says that they landed on the moon. Really, Buzz? We've been fooled since 1969 by a guy named Buzz.
Buzz Lightyear?
Buzz Aldridge. Buzz Aldridge.
Toy Story guy. Buzz Lightyear.
It's insane, man. Buzz has got us fooled that they went on the moon. Y'all see that?
Come on.
Then they got video of him telling little girl, yeah, we never went on the moon. Oops.
Even the other one, who is it?
Neil Armstrong. Him too.
He said it.
Yeah, they got video of him and Buzz and all them. And one of them's in the interview and he's talking to the little girl and he's like, well, we never went. We never went to the moon.
Really?
All YouTube, man. They got another one, the guy corners him, he's trying to interview him and everything like that, and he's like, would you swear on this stack of Bibles or on this Bible that we went up to the moon? And he's like, and it's just, he didn't like ambush him and like attack him. He just asked. Dude takes off. Old ass man, and he's just scurrying the hell out of there like a cockroach in the sunlight. It's insane, man. But this is what they'll do to cover up and to be prideful and say that they are up here. They want our people to be able to look at them and say, there's no way they can be taken down. There's no way they're not the smartest. Tell somebody right now, hey, listen, we didn't go to the moon. They'll lose their damn mind, man. If they don't try to fight you, they will lose their mind. Go out there and tell one of these idiot Negroes anything that challenges their science, what they believe science says. They'll lose their mind, man. And these are simple questions I used to come up with in school, man. I used to come up with these and ask my science teacher, and it was just, you could literally watch him glitch, and it wasn't in the textbook. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? I retired his ass in the middle of class. Like, he said he had a funeral to go to, he never came back. But yeah, I made this guy glitch. He just, And I was just asking simple questions. Well, you said there's this law of conservation of mass, and energy is not created or destroyed. Well, you said that this mass doesn't just get created. Okay, well, how come the chick weighs more than the yolk in the egg? That didn't. He just couldn't do it. How come the plant weighs more than the seed? It didn't register to him, like how to answer that. It just glitched him. And that was when I was in 6th, 7th grade, man. Y'all see that?
Con.
But the spirit wouldn't let me eat that crap. Now I'm in the truth, and it's like you start reading the Bible, and you're like, wow. When the Most High said when David said just look at nature, and then you compare it to what you learned in science, it never makes sense. But everything the scriptures say makes sense. The scriptures already recorded that all the rivers run into the sea, and the sea is never full. Is that not true? Ecclesiastes, right? He said all the rivers run into the sea, and the sea is never full. They didn't really discover or start teaching you that until like the 1900s. That all the rivers and everything run down, and they go into deltas, and then they go into the sea, and then it goes up into the cycle, right? It evaporates, goes up into the sky, and then rains back down in the clouds. That's all recorded in Ecclesiastes. But you didn't start learning that until a certain grade in school.
Condensation, precipitation,
Right.
condensation.
Yeah. Evaporation and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to get to a certain level in school before they taught you that. But I was reading that in the Bible when I learned how to read.
I learned nothing about the 3rd grade.
Yeah. But when did the concepts come out? You know what I mean? The concepts come out in like the 1900s, late 1800s.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's always been in the scriptures. But we're going to go through a lot of those. What's that?
I just to add on what you said, I always question like the whole gravity thing. Like, just why is it even still a theory?
You should.
It's like
because there's one that's a perfect example of something that they taught you that is a law of gravity. A law meaning it is universal. It is unbreakable. It is always what goes up must come down. Right.
Right.
Even Newton said that wasn't a law. Mm-hmm. But what did they turn it into? The law of gravity. Y'all see that? But here's the thing. What goes up doesn't always come down. Just like I asked the guy when I was in Trinidad. I was like, okay, they taught you about the law of gravity. He was like, yeah. I said, what weighs more, water or air? He said, water. I said, okay, so water shouldn't fly, right? He said, no. I said, what's in the clouds? Is gravity a universal law then?
obviously not.
Y'all see that? Mm-hmm. Bees are not aerodynamically built to fly. I've said this millions of times. They're not aerodynamically built to fly. That means when aeronautical people break down a bee, when scientists break down a bee, they say that can't fly.
Body is round, wings short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it flies.
Sure fly.
Nobody told the bee that apparently. See? But these are things that, okay, they can't explain it. So now they have to backtrack and say, oh, well, there's certain exceptions. No, you lied. It's not a law of gravity, it's a theory. You understand? If gravity was real, then when we were driving down the coast of Trinidad and I saw water coming off the ocean and going up into the clouds, and I was like, oh, okay, that's the water evaporating, or it's raining over there. He's like, no, it's not raining. The water's evaporating. I was like, what? He was like, the water's going up into the clouds. I never knew you could watch that happen. Well, that seems to defy gravity, right? So there are places on the earth where gravity don't work that way. Water flies. Y'all see that? It's insane, but that means it's not a law. What's that?
But you do see it here too. When it's like in Colorado, I remember it used to snow.
Yeah.
In Colorado, certain times of the year it'd be real warm, and you can see the steam coming off the streets because the earth is hot. It's at a certain temperature. When that snow is melting, you can see the evaporation happening. It's in a gas form, and it's going up into those clouds. You
And
can
see, I understood that.
Yeah.
But when they told me there was actually like
Actual
how
water.
you watch the rain come
Rainfall,
down in
right, I
columns,
see what you're saying.
it was going up, and I was like, wow, it's raining upward.
Really?
Yeah, you thought I was talking about steam. No,
You're talking about actual water.
I'm talking about column of water was going up.
So you saw that? And
Yeah.
Dang, that's powerful.
We were driving by and I saw, you know how you see you can see when it rains, right?
Yeah.
And you can see like that column where it's like blue or gray, you know what I mean? Real dark, and you're like, okay, it's raining over there. I thought it was raining. He was like, no, the water's going up. It's coming off the water and it's going up into the clouds.
Quick question.
Was that?
Was that like over water? That was over.
Yeah, it was over the ocean.
Ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all were probably headed towards Point Fortin or something, but the whole ocean is
Yeah.
right there to see into Venezuela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go over that little narrow strip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Psalms 119 verse 69. Go to Isaiah 14 and 13 real quick. I'm gonna let these scriptures tell you, man.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
Now in Isaiah 14, he's talking to the king of Babylon, but this is the daughter of Babylon. Alright? This is Babylon's daughter right here. They got the same characteristics. You're in America, Babylon's daughter. Alright? And yeah, they've said the same thing in their heart. Go ahead.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Right, so the first lie they did was they said, I will ascend into heaven. Right? And that's what they gave you in 1969. Oh, we went up there. We went up to space. We are the superpower. Right? Them and the Russians both lied and said, oh, we went up to the moon. We went up to the moon in a less than 1 inch thick tin can with foil and duct tape and a lawn chair, and we went up to the moon. And surprisingly, somehow the cameraman got off before the first astronaut and was able to take a picture of the first astronaut landing on the moon. It's insane, right? There's plenty of problems with that. I'm sure it's all circulating out there, and they wrote it off as conspiracy theory. So like I said, we're going to let the scriptures talk, because I sound crazy when I do it. Alright? He said, I will ascend up to heaven. He said, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. This is America's mind state. Alright? These are the people that taught you. So when you want to understand, well, why would they lie to me? Because in your brain, as you come up, you start to see them as the ones that have the answers. Right? Just like nowadays, your kids, they're not going to go to daddy for all the answers. They're going to go to Google.
Yep.
I remember when I dreamed up Google, man, when I was a kid. I was like, man, when I get to heaven, man, I'm going to ask the Most High all these questions. So I would store questions in my brain, put them in the back of my brain. Who was this actor? Who was this in this commercial? Who was this in that? Then Google came out, and I was like, damn, I can do it all right now. Thanks, Yahweh. You went and gave me all the answers right now. I don't gotta wait. But when your kids come up, that's what it's gonna be. Google's gonna be God to them. Google's gonna be instead of you to them. It's gonna be their father and mother. Because all they gotta do is what you don't know, what you sitting over there like, I don't know. They're going to be like, hey, Google. Y'all see that? That's what this nation is trying to be for you. They're trying to be that for our people. But we don't need the Most High. Why? Because we got all the answers. We got Google. We got the white man to tell us, because they went to the moon. They know everything. Well, there's no fighting against them. There's no thinking around them, because they went to the moon. They're powerful. Y'all see that? Think about it. If you're a little kid and you got a big brother, and your big brother tell you he fought a guy that was 6'3". Now y'all both 5 years old. He said he fought a guy that was 6 feet tall. Big brother's a karate master to you, right? If you ever get in a jam, you like, I'm calling my brother on you, man.
Right.
Why? Because he put that in your brain that he's the mighty one. That's all it is, man. It's that simple. It's that simple, the mentality they put over our people, man. That we go search to them and we go to them for all their answers and don't even trust. They've been saying all over the internet, man, if a black man teach you this, you laugh at him, but when the white man tell you, you eat it up. And that's how our people are, man. As soon as we start telling our people their real history, it's, oh, there you go with all that black power stuff. Right? But as soon as some white lady gets on there and she's like, oh, you know the black people of slavery are the real Jews. Wow.
I knew it. No,
Right.
I knew it. See, I felt that in my spirit.
Exactly.
I felt like that since I was 3 years old.
Right.
Nigga, please.
Then all of a sudden it's the truth. Y'all see that? But when we say it, we're Power Rangers, we're ridiculed, we're laughed at. But when they say it, it's truth. Why? Because they built themselves up to be this.
And at the same time, they put us down.
Yeah.
They put us, even with the whole image of Christ. I'm Christ. This is how or I look like Christ, so you got to follow me. It's the same thing. And, they made us inferior, throughout time. Obviously, we're not inferior, though. And that's why we got the wisdom to be able to search out moon landings and earth spinning and all the things you're about to go into, and the scriptures tell us. That's the beautiful thing about it. The Bible is going to tell us. So go ahead.
You got a question?
Well, I was gonna make a comment. Like it's crazy. Like even use our own people. Like just recently, probably like 2 or 3 days ago, they held a panel with Killer Mike, T.I., some other individuals that was politicians, and they did it in Georgia. And it was this thing that T.I. said in reference to
that we're not Africans.
Yeah,
that we're not African.
We don't know our nationality. We're not African American. We can't even ask for reparations because
we don't have a nationality. Right.
It's like I personally only started hearing that in 2012, and I heard it through Israelites. Right. But it's like when they were saying it back then, it didn't register.
Listen,
but hearing it from somebody like that.
When I said it in 2001 to my family, I was nuts. I was crazy. When he said it to his family in 2001, we were nuts. We were living as psychos. Like, y'all niggas is crazy. But I got that same family hitting me up like, I heard we're the Benjamites. I'm like, okay, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to talk to you. But yeah, we are Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin. But again, like you said, they using our own black celebrities. Nobody cared about Israelites until Kendrick Lamar was like, I ain't black, I'm an Israelite. Nobody cares about it until what's the one actor that you got a couple of cats. You got the dude from Jagged Edge.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about it
Brandon T. Jackson.
Yeah, Brandon T. Jackson. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Now they got this whole Terrence Howard thing. I know you seen that. Yeah, that was like,
I'm gonna start dropping the truth.
Yeah, he said I'm gonna quit acting to pursue and teach truth. He didn't say the truth.
Right.
He just said truth. So I'm like, well, we got to see what his truth is.
Right.
Because if we, Malik's yoga's truth is that you can be attracted to trannies as a man. So we got to see what is this man's truth.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But
he's not gay. He just likes women with penises.
That's his truth. So we got to see what Terrence Howard's truth is. But like you said, they are using the actors and stuff. So. Yeah. But where we at?
From there, you're Isaiah 14?
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
Right.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
All right, so understand the white man's mentality. This is their mentality. They want to be like the Most High to you. They want to be understood as if they're the Most High, as if they created everything. And if they can't explain it, then it was aliens.
Or it was a theory.
Right, or they come up with a theory that so-called explains it to you. Right? Do you know how much faith you gotta have to believe in the Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
If I was in court, right, and I tried to testify against a cop, And they said, well, how do you know this cop shot this guy 9 times? And I say, well, somebody I know told somebody that they know, and they told me that he shot that guy 9 times. Won't I get laughed out of court? Yeah, because why?
You didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I wasn't there, right?
Or you just came up with some theory. Well, the theory of guns is when you pull the trigger, somebody got to get hit.
Right.
Nah, it don't work like that. Did you see it?
Right. Now, ask them to explain the Big Bang Theory.
2 things crash into 2 things, and
now I can't do that. I can't do that and sit on the court stand if that happened yesterday.
Right.
But they gonna get up, put in a textbook that 50 billion years ago.
billion, not million.
Let me know if you know anybody 50 billion years old that could have personally witnessed that event.
Right.
50 billion years ago, everything in the entire what they call universe, right, exploded out of nothing.
To make something.
That's not hearsay.
Oh, it's definitely.
That's not. Where'd you come up with that crap? But you got to have absolute faith in that. But when you say, yeah, God made a man and a woman a few thousand years ago. He made everything on the earth. It was intelligently designed. They're like, you're crazy. What?
Yeah, you got to have 100% faith in that theory, but you got to have a total 100% disbelief in the Most High.
Right.
Because that's what it's designed to do, is take the Most High out of it and push the theory and the theories that they have.
Exactly what the scripture's telling you.
Yeah.
They want themselves to be the Most High to you. That's why every theory has nothing to do with the Most High, no matter how whacked out their theories are. Has nothing to do with, hey, what if somebody just created this?
Right.
Like, they got other scientists having to go and prove to them, like, hey, listen, how can you believe that we were just poofed out of nothing? Like, wait a minute, no, that doesn't even make scientific sense.
Right.
Listen, we had to be created. They break down the human body. They're like, no, this was intelligently designed. What's wrong with you? You got scientists having to go back. Like, they made this movie, Animals That Defy Evolution, and they're like breaking down animals and insects that, like, there's no possible way they evolved. There's no possible way there's a such thing as evolution. And these are their own scientists having to go back and be like, we got lied to.
Right.
But that's because they lost their pride.
Wow.
You know, they went into their. It's like if you're saying something that's just absolute BS and you catch yourself in it. That's what happened with some of these scientists. They're just like, you're just rambling and you're just like, wow, I sound insane. Hold on. Let me just stop myself, dude. Y'all see that? That's what happened with these guys. And they'll tell you, they're like, but you have to swallow your pride and say, you know what? I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Y'all see that? But America doesn't want to do that. Because if they do, they got to say they lied about everything.
And you know, a lot of them guys that's coming with that stuff ain't even American.
Right.
A lot of them are Esau still, but not American Esau. Where they're trying to make themselves as God. A lot of them are doing it to build their own names. So they're trying to debunk this theory and debunk this theory, and they don't know what they're doing really. They don't know that they're making their whole nation look bad. The whole Edomite race look bad. Because I remember I learned about the theory of the theory of evolution. Right? And the Galapagos Islands and the penguins, and there's no way penguins can live on this island, it's too hot.
Right.
Something crazy, but they evolved to this island. But then when you go through it and you watch, it's like, no, they were just created to live on that island. You got cold penguins and hot penguins.
Right.
What's so hot about that? What's so hard about that?
Yeah.
You got tigers that can live in the Sahara, and you got Siberian tigers. Like, but they can't be switched around. What's so hard about that? They didn't evolve.
But they can't just say that. They gotta still just maintain their pride and still like hold on to this evolutionary theory. And that's the problem, is they call it a theory. This is the trick of the devil, man, is they'll put the name theory right on the end of it. Right. Big Bang Theory, evolutionary theory. but they'll sell it to you as if it's fact and make you have to go along with it. Oh yeah, you got to learn evolutionary theory in school. Why? A theory is an educated guess. That's what I remember from all my grammar definitions lists they gave me. A theory, a hypothesis, these are educated guesses. And a hypothesis or a theory is like a whole series of hypotheses.
Yep.
So you got me believing in a whole bunch of guesses as if it's fact? Help me, man. You can only fool some people so many times. Right. You can only educate somebody so much until they become wise to how uneducated they are. But read on. Let's see what they do. You finish Isaiah 14:14?
Come.
Go from there. I wanted y'all to know that because you got to understand the mindset of the people that have been trying to do this to you. Because people wonder like, well, why would they lie? Right? That's what everybody does. Why would my government lie to me? There's so many reasons. To keep themselves rich, to keep your ass poor, to keep the control over you. But the main reason is because they don't want there to be a head over them. You understand? Let's go from there. Go to 2 Maccabees 9 verse 1 through 12. I'm going to read this real quick. And again, so you can see that historically they've always thought this way. This is not a new thing. What we just read in Isaiah 14 is not a new thing. The so-called white man has always thought this way since their inception. All right, all the way back to the man Esau, to the Greek Empire, the so-called fathers of civilization. Right, the Greek Empire, they've always thought this way since their inception. Man, read that.
2 Maccabees, chapter 9 and verse 12.
Verse 1.
Verse 1 through 12.
Oh, Salaki. Verse 1. About that time came Antiochus with dishonor out of the country of Persia, for he had entered the city called Persepolis, and went about to rob the temple and to hold the city, whereupon the multitude running to defend themselves with their weapons put them to flight. And so it happened that Antiochus, being put to flight, of the inhabitants returned with shame. Now when he came to I can't pronounce that one. Ecbatane, news were brought him what had happened unto Nicanor and Timotheus. Then, swelling with anger, he thought to avenge upon the Jews the disgrace done unto him by those that made him flee.
Right, so he lost. This man Antiochus, he lost this battle. Right, he tried to invade this country. They kicked his ass out. Right, he ran away from them. He's in disgrace. So he aims his anger at the Jews. Right, he sees the Jews, and he automatically, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring my name back up. I got to get my pride swelled back up. So I'm going to go destroy the Jews. Go ahead.
Therefore commanded he his chariot man to drive without ceasing, and to dispatch the journey. The judgment of the Most High now following him.
Right, so now the Most High is judging this man. Go ahead.
For he had spoken proudly in this sort.
He did what?
Spoken proudly in this sort.
Right, he spoke proudly. This is the Greek, Roman, Edomite mindset. They speak proudly. Go ahead.
That he would come to Jerusalem and make it a common burying place of the Jews.
Go ahead. So he decided, you know what? I'm gonna make this place. I'm gonna make Jerusalem a burying place for Jews. I'm not gonna make it their land. It's gonna be their cemetery. Go ahead.
But the Most High, the power of Israel, smote him with an incurable and invisible plague.
Right. So the Most High hit him with a plague, right? Just like if you do it with America. Y'all got AIDS. Y'all got cancer. Y'all got syphilis. Y'all got this. He keeps hitting them with plagues over and over again. But what's their mindset? Oh, you got HIV? It's okay. We made a pill you can take right before you go ahead and have sex unprotected with your partner, and it'll negate the effects of HIV in them for the next 10 years. all it does is make your nose bleed, your thighs rot, your ass fall off. You know what I mean? Like
Diarrhea, nausea, vomiting,
Right.
suicidal thoughts.
yeah. But it'll keep you from getting the effects of HIV.
Crazy.
Right, bro.
But that's their pride. Y'all see that?
Con.
Instead of them saying, you know what, why don't we just do right and not have unprotected sex with random people? Nah, we're gonna keep doing our wickedness, but we have a pill now to stave off what the Most High is gonna do to us for doing that. Y'all see this?
Con.
This is their pride, and you're watching it in this man. Go ahead.
Or as soon as he had spoken these words, a pain of bowels that was
A pain of the bowels.
Salakia. A pain of the bowels that was
Remediless.
Right, so
remediless.
remediless. It was incurable. He got an incurable pain of the bowels, man.
Apologies.
Dude's intestines just start hurting him, killing him. Go ahead.
Came upon him
Right.
in sore torments of the inner parts,
Right, and sore torments of the inner parts. Go ahead.
and that most justly, for he had tormented other men's bowels with many and strange torments.
Right.
Howbeit he nothing at all ceased from his bragging.
Right. So even still, with all that going on, to humble him, he was still bragging that he was going to destroy Israel and he had all this power.
Con.
Go ahead.
But still was filled with pride, breathing out fire in his rage against the Jews,
Right.
and commanding to hasty journey. But it came to pass that he fell down from his chariot.
What verse you at?
Verse 7.
Go ahead.
Carried violently, so that having a sore fall, all the members of his body were much pain.
So while he's in the midst of charging against Israel, he falls off the chariot, right? He falls down in his chariot, and his bowels are still hurting him. Still prideful. Still saying that he's going to do it. He don't get that the Most High is smiting him right now. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And thus he that a little afore thought he might command the waves of the sea. So
This was his mindset. I can command the waves of the sea. Ain't that America's mindset?
But who really did it?
Trump was talking about he was going to hit the hurricanes with nukes.
That nigga's tripping.
Come on, man.
They call there's like the little machine that they have.
Harp.
Right. They think that's what they're going to do, that they're going to command the waves of the sea.
This dude thought he was Christ.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to rebuke the seas.
But go ahead, read on.
So proud was he beyond the condition of man, and weighed the high mountains.
He was proud beyond the condition of man. Tell me that ain't America, bro. Tell me that ain't the empire you've been raised up in. Proud beyond the condition of man. Like, go ahead, try to fight us. Try to do anything against us. We'll take you down. That's America, man. Go ahead.
And weighed the high mountains in a balance, was now cast on the ground, and carried in an horse litter.
See, the one that thought he was going to he could take down mountains with his bare hands, now he's being carried in a horse litter. The little doo-doo trough that follows behind the horse to make sure his doo-doo don't hit the ground. Go ahead.
Shewing forth unto all the manifest power of the Most High.
Right.
So that the worms rose up out of the body of this wicked man. And whilst he lived in sorrow and pain, his flesh fell away. And the filthiness of his smell was noisome to all his army.
Now here's the thing. You can go in your history books, look up Antiochus Epiphanes, and there he is. So once again, this is another biblical fact. A biblical name that you can look up and, hey, boom, there, the Bible's true. Y'all see that? But try that with your science books. Try finding black holes, quarks, any of the stuff that they decide to make up. Really research the stuff.
Galaxies, universes.
Yeah. You ain't never seen the word universe in the Bible. Like I said, we're going to go into a lot of that stuff, but let me plow through this. You finished verse 14?
No, that was verse 9.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 10. And the man that thought a little afore he could reach to the stars of heaven, no man could endure to carry.
How does Esau think? They think they can endure to the stars of heaven. Go ahead.
For his intolerable stink.
See, nobody can endure this man because he stinks so bad. This is how the Most High had to humble this man. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Here therefore, being plagued, he began to leave off his great pride and to come to the knowledge of himself.
See, after all that, that's what it took to get him off his pride, man. That's what it took to knock this guy off his high horse, and that's the same way America is, man.
God.
That's what it takes to humble them. All them school shootings, all these mass shootings, Walmart shootings. That's the kind of stuff it takes to humble them, man. And then they think, oh, well, we can prepare against that. Then Dave Chappelle had to wake their ass up. Like, you're training the shooter.
God.
He's in the school, dummy. Y'all see that?
God.
The what is it?
Stand up.
The what is it of the simple shall slay them?
The turning away of the simple.
Right. Little simple things, man. It's like that's the stuff that has to humble them.
God.
Where they gotta wake up and see, you know what? There are some things we just can't fight. Can't fight a hurricane. Can't fight landslides, mudslides, tornadoes.
The Most High.
That's the Most High. Fires. You can't fight that. Go ahead.
By the scourge of the Most High.
Right.
His pain increasing every moment. And when he himself could not abide his own smell, he said these words, it is meet to be subject unto the Most High.
This is the final wisdom he actually was able to utter. It is what?
It is meet to be subject unto the Most High.
Go ahead.
And that a man that is mortal should not proudly think of himself if he were the Most High.
See, why I brought this out is because he had to wake up and see we Edomites should not think that we're the Most High. But that means they have an original mindset that they are the Most High. That they are not mortal. They think they're gods. They think they're the Most High walking on the earth.
That's why they do all the clonings.
Yeah.
Cloning animal, cloning people, regenerating limbs, all that weird scientific fringe stuff.
Yeah.
They do all that and then they try to enact it in the lab, making meat out of poop.
Yeah, they think they have nobody to answer to, man.
Yep.
But this is their mindset, and I'm showing you this so you can see that this is in their racial identity. You understand? The people that taught you have it in their racial identity that they are the Most High. That they are the creators. Understand that. So when you're reading Romans chapter 1, and you find out that they hold themselves up as if they're God, then they start worshiping the creature more than the creator. Right? This is them. These are those same people. This is the Edomite Empire they're talking about. Understand this. This is in their racial identity. Where you at?
That was the last line of verse 12.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 13.
You said last line of verse 12,
No,
right?
that was it. You finished it.
Right. So again, this is their common thinking. All right, we read it about it in Isaiah 13. Now we're seeing it in Maccabees. This is in their racial identity, man. Now let's hit some of these lies. First one, it starts on the page 1 of the Bible. Their job is to try to break down the Bible and try to debunk it. So anything they can do to replace what you're reading in the scriptures, they've done it. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 1. We're going to start at verse 14. Because they taught you about outer space, right?
Right.
I want you to really think hard. I want you to really think hard and go through your memory, your extensive, long memories. And I want you to try to remember an actual picture that you ever saw of outer space. Not an artist's rendition, not a drawing, not a CGI movie, not some comic book movie made for the big screen. All right? Not Star Trek. Star Wars, none of that. But remember those things because look how easy it is for them to make that look real. But try to remember if you ever saw an actual picture of outer space.
And how come when they show you the pictures from the moon of Earth, there's never like a satellite around?
Those
All them
stars.
satellites, all them stars, where they at?
There's supposed to be 250,000 satellites orbiting us at this very moment.
Every time they show you a photo of the Earth,
Ain't one.
it's always this nice round crystal, clear blue ball, but there's not one satellite.
Or green, because it changes
Or
colors.
green. Or whatever, cloud covered, however they want to pose it at that time. And you got to ask yourself, where are these things at?
See, their lives collapse in on themselves. That's the problem that I was having as a scientist, right? A scientist is a person that just studies the natural earth around them, the natural things that are around them, right? A scientist is not a person that just regurgitates theories. That's not what a scientist is. Science, let me get the definition for you right here. Because that's not what science is, man. Science, it says the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. That means you look at it and you record what you're seeing and you study what you're seeing. You can't see theories. You can't experience theories. Somebody guesses something, or they just make something up. That's not an experience. That's like, I'm a master of the comic book arts. Wait, you're a master of comic books. That means you're a master of Stan Lee's imagination.
Right.
That's what you are when you're a scientist in this day and age. You're a master of some other guy's imagination, man.
Can I get one on that?
Oh, of course.
We hit it all the time. 1 Timothy 6:20. You didn't put it in here. You did it on purpose?
This is a lot.
1 Timothy 6:20. I'm not gonna say. Go ahead. 1 Timothy 6:20.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20.
Go ahead.
O Timothy,
Read.
keep that which is committed to thy trust.
Thy what?
Thy trust.
Go ahead.
Avoiding profane and vain babblings.
Right, because that's all confusion. Read on.
And oppositions of science falsely so called.
And this is what America, this is what they operate on. Science falsely so called, because like he said, and the truth of the definition, they're not sitting back and researching the research and the research. They're just going off of what somebody else said. What somebody else researched, or what they think they can do, or what they think they know. And as we keep going, we'll see. Just dealing with this, I'll let you get into it, but we'll see that it's false science. What they taught us in school. The ozone layer, and it's some, I was always taught the ozone layer was this mist.
Right.
It's a misty little, it was just something there that you couldn't see.
Yeah.
Right? I know you're going to go in there, but go ahead. Go to Genesis.
Yeah.
I was in on that.
Yeah. Get that Genesis real quick. One verse, start at 14.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 14.
But no, that's a perfect point. I mean, a lot of that they taught you, the ozone layer. We're going to read how the ozone layer, how the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that is actually orientated. Mm-hmm. And you tell me which one makes more sense to you. Because I can give you both. I can tell you what the scriptures say, and I can tell you what the science says. One's not going to make any damn sense, though.
And why do they call it an ozone layer and the Bible calls it a firmament? That right there gives it away. Firmament.
Right.
Firm.
It's all in the names. It's all
Right.
in the names. Man.
They change it on purpose, though.
Right? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And the Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
Okay, so he said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven. All right? So you take the firmament you have, right? And inside of that is going to be lights. But what have you been taught?
There's space.
You were taught that everything
gas.
was outside the ozone.
Oh, con.
First of all, what divides day from night?
The sun.
That's what they taught you, right?
God.
The sun divides the day from the night,
God.
right? And the moon divides the night from the day.
Gosh.
God. But the scriptures don't tell you that, because the scriptures tell you that the sun and the moon and the stars weren't created till the fourth day.
It was already like
But light was created the first day. Yeah, so there's light and there's darkness, and then there's the sun and the moon. It's all right there in the first chapter. Understand? But you were taught something different. Why? Because they have to hold themselves up as if they taught you, not the scriptures. What's that?
You said the light was created right first, right?
And the scripture said.
I mean, yeah, come on. The scripture say light was first.
Right.
And then along came the stars,
Sun, moon, stars.
the sun, the moon. So what is the light?
There you go. See, that's the part they want to leave out because that's the Most High.
Come.
That's the Most High that gives that made that light.
Come.
You understand? That light is there regardless. That's why when they give you the pictures of space, when they give you the pictures of space, it's always pitch black out there. And somewhere out in that pitch black darkness, 93 million miles away, is this burning bright nuclear fusion creating sun.
Right.
Because they've been all the way to the core of the sun, 93 million miles away.
All the way to it.
Right.
As hot as it is.
Into the core.
They went to it.
To where they can tell you what is happening in the sun.
Shooting out rays and
Yep.
Now let me ask you something. How far did the last spaceship go?
To the firmament.
well, to them the moon.
The moon, right?
Oh yeah, con.
The moon.
Yeah.
But
that's
now
the
they're
first.
telling you that they've been to the sun. The moon is only 238,000 miles away.
Right.
We'll talk about that too. They say the moon is 238,000 miles away. Now they're telling you they've been to the core of the sun, 93 million miles away. Somebody's lying.
Con.
How are they going to get to the core of the sun? If I go outside and it's noon, I don't even want to be outside on Earth. I'm 93 million miles away. But y'all niggas been to the sun, to the core.
It's crazy too.
What did y'all go to the sun in?
Right.
What vessel was able to survive the boiling hot heat of the sun? That's crazy, right? What's that?
And then like, I hear that part too, but then they say like outer space is like super cold.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense either, right? It's like negative 270 degrees out
Yeah,
there.
it doesn't make sense.
Why would it be so cold when the sun's
The sun
sitting
is
out
right
there?
there.
Doesn't make sense.
Ain't the sun sitting out there warming everything up, warming us up?
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's too many contradictions in that one. You could ask Google those questions, none of it will make sense. Well, isn't space a vacuum? I heard fire can't exist inside a vacuum because fire feeds off of oxygen. Ain't no oxygen in space, that's what y'all said. What's the sun doing out there? I don't know. They won't answer these questions for you, and they can't because the science doesn't make sense. You understand? When you ask the questions, it starts to break down. But when you deal with the scriptures, check this out. Read it again, verse 14.
And the Most High said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years.
Now, what's funny is since the beginning of time, I don't care if you're in Western civilization or Eastern civilization, every civilization has been using the sun, the moon, and the stars as some kind of sign of times. When they want to know what time it is, they make a sundial or a moon dial, or they navigate the stars to know where to go. So the scriptures are telling me something that I've seen countless civilizations since the beginning of time use as a sign of times. But I still can't find a black hole. I still haven't experienced a wormhole. I still haven't experienced the bending of space, of the space-time continuum. These are all things you're going to hear about in science class that are supposedly facts. Y'all see that? Read on.
Verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And let them be for lights in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
All right, now do those things that he put in the firmament, do they give light on the earth?
Come.
Okay, this is scientific fact. Why is it scientific? Because I can observe it in the natural world. And there it is, giving light on the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the Most High made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
Now I said he made two great lights. There's something to keep track of. He didn't say they was planets. He didn't say they were solid objects. He said they were lights.
Right.
All right. The greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. Go ahead.
He made the stars also.
And he also made the stars. He didn't say they were balls of burning gas. He didn't say they were solid. He said they were lights. And where did he put all those things, class?
Inside the firmament.
In the firmament of the heaven. Now, which one makes more sense to you? Let's just analyze the science. The sun is 93 million miles away in the vacuum of space and somehow giving light and heat to this earth, even though the rest of space is all black. Or that the sun is inside the firmament with us and it's able to give light and heat inside of our planet.
I think I'm going with the second one.
Right? It's like the light in my fridge, right? The light in my freezer.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give light and heat to the whole freezer. It can't give heat to the whole freezer. Why? Because it's in the freezer. But you're telling me the sun is inside freezing cold space and is still giving heat all the way here.
That light don't even give heat. It just gives illumination.
Right.
It don't even give off heat. It's too cold for that. You take away one of the functionalities if that was the case.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah. even the one in your fridge don't even give heat.
Right.
It's too cold.
Right.
Yep.
So these things don't make sense according to science itself, man. All right. If there's black holes in space swallowing up all the light, where are we getting the sunlight from? Y'all see that? A lot of questions you just gotta ask and find out. Well, why did it stop swallowing the light at a certain point? Why didn't it swallow all the light? It's a black hole. You said it's never filling itself up. It should be swallowing light from everywhere. And what got them thinking you could swallow light in the first place? It's too many questions, man. But where are you at?
Oh, we're in verse 17.
Go ahead.
And the Most High set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the Most High saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
Right. So they're telling you the moon is 238,000 miles away, right? The scriptures are telling you it's inside the firmament. Okay, which is maybe about 70 miles up. Well, last time they flew that rocket, went about 70 miles up, hit the firmament, spun out of control. All right, 70 miles up as opposed to the moon being 238,000 miles away. Now I got two videos. Now I don't know if you're able to pull these up. I can send them to you, right? Am I able to send them to you? Will you get it on that?
70 miles is about 36,000 feet. So when they fly their airplanes, they fly about how many feet up? About 30,000, right? Yeah.
So I want you to see these videos, man, because what I did was I was like, let me find out what is the best, strongest exposure camera you can get. And it turns out it's the Nikon P1000. All right. It's called the Nikon P1000. This is the strongest camera. It has the strongest lens, best zoom of any camera on the planet Earth. All right. So I'm gonna send this to you. And there's two videos I want y'all to see, man. Somebody's lying. They gotta be. So I'm gonna send you. I sent you the first one, and she's gonna play them off this monitor here. Because somebody's definitely lying, man. This is the exact same camera. Both videos are the exact same camera, the Nikon P1000. So I'm gonna send you the second one right now. Now, you know, hopefully y'all be able to see this online and everything. But the moon is 238,000 miles away. Now, one of the videos that you're going to see is the guy's using the Nikon P1000, and he's photographing some friends of his skipping along on the mountains 4 miles away.
Con.
Alright? Now, when he zooms in as far as he can go to his friend that's on this mountain that's waving at him, all you see is a silhouette. You can maybe see the color of the dude's shirt at best. Mm-hmm. He's wearing like a white-ish shirt. Alright? And you see basically a silhouette from 4 miles away. On the next video, they're supposedly zoomed in on the moon. And you can see craters, you can damn near see moon dust from 238,000 miles away.
Con.
Wow.
Somebody's lying.
Yeah.
Y'all understand? They're either the moon is not as far as they said, or they messing around with that camera. Maybe the friend wasn't 4 miles away. Maybe he was 238,000 miles away.
It's the bird one is playing first.
Right. So this one they got they're using it to do bird watching. This is a camera that bird watchers like to use. They're able to catch birds in flight and stuff like that from miles away without disturbing their natural habitat. Right. Is this the one where he's photographing his friend? Let's see. Yeah, you're playing online too? Let's see.
This is the first video you sent with the bird one.
Yeah, so that should be the same video then. That should be the one.
You're out shooting a building.
Right, so he's giving you the depth and the amount of perception you're able to get through this amazing camera, right? So he's showing the bird, he showed the buildings. As he's zooming into these buildings, if they're able to capture the moon 238,000 miles away, every dimple and crater, they should be able to see people clearly in these buildings. The buildings are only a few miles away.
Right.
But that's not what you're seeing, is it? Are y'all able to see it?
Yeah, I'm on the bird, man.
Right
It's
now,
showing the bird.
It's still showing the bird right there, so it's
No.
catching up.
right now it's shooting his friend at 4 miles away on the cliff.
There we go.
Damn, he was like, that camera's immaculate.
Oh yeah, and this is 4 miles away. If you got to the part where where I'm at.
2 miles, man.
2 miles.
And remember, this is the best camera that Earth has made so far.
Wow.
You should be able to see every pimple on this dude.
Bro,
You should be able to see follicles of hair from 4 miles away.
the zoom in is hard on 2 miles.
It's a great zoom though, right?
Yeah.
Right inside the house.
But even still,
You can't see the house with the naked eye.
Yeah.
Really. From 2 miles away, you can't see nothing from 2 miles away.
right? But that house is not 238,000 miles away.
No, it's not.
That's a few miles.
You can barely see that house from
4 miles.
4 miles.
They're still doing the houses.
I see the house, you
Mountain
4 miles
tops
now.
now.
He's in the mountains. Probably still in the house.
Here we go. Now he's in the mountains, right?
Oh
That's
wow.
just boy on the cliff. Wow.
Now that's a good zoom, okay?
Yeah, to at least see the silhouette.
Right.
It'll be
Oh
blurry.
yeah,
You
dang.
can see he got a white shirt on. He got a little.
Oh yeah, yeah. This dude jumping up and down.
Yeah, that's a good zoom.
Right. Now that's only 4 miles away though. All right.
Wow.
That's all you can see from 4 miles away. Now let's get the other video rolling. Yeah, the second one I sent you in the other email.
It's crazy. You know,
What's that?
there was this video that I was watching about like the flat Earth, and they were showing, it was this guy he had a camera, and it was like one of the longest canals in the world. And it was like, yeah, if you, how can the world be round if you can see so far, like with the Michigan Lake, I mean the Great Lake in Michigan,
right?
Like in Chicago, yeah, you can see the Chicago skyline.
Yeah, you should be able to see that if it was curved around.
But yeah,
I've seen that before.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
And if you tell people, you know, the Earth is flat, they gonna lose their mind again. Why? Because the forgers of lies have been planting those things in their brain since they were children. That all you got when you turned on the TV was pictures, little cartoon images of space and how the Earth is round and all these things. Why? Because everything that you really need to know is in the scriptures. But how do I steer you away from this being your God into I'm your God? I gotta provide the images. That's it.
Not question, but
what's that?
A comment. I've heard this somewhere, but they say the reason why they do the chemtrails because the planets are actually closer, so they put these chemtrails up to block, you know, these planets, so-called planets that are up there.
Yeah. We'll talk about the planet thing too.
God.
Right.
Right. Well, you rolling that second video? So what you should be seeing here is now they're using the exact same camera, the P1000, on the moon. All right. What do you see? You got it rolling yet?
Yeah.
Well, it's a few seconds. Few seconds lag time here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, changes growth. Keep watching. Stay tuned. We're gonna go into that. Brother online, he said, so my question is, the planets we were taught.
That's a sister.
Oh, sister, I'm sorry. Do they really exist? Pluto, Mars, etc. And I forget the planet they say we can live on in the future. Again, short answer to that question, find me the word planets in the Bible. And then decide, are you going to believe the Most High or man? But we're going to go deep into the planets thing pretty soon, all right? So stay tuned. But what you should be seeing here is, again, it says it right there, Nikon P1000 again. Just touching on the planetary subject, what do they name the planets? Where did those names come from?
Greek mythology?
Yeah.
They come from Greek gods, right? The names of Greek gods. Now, if the Greek gods aren't real, what are you believing in? Right? So what they're going to do on this one, as we're waiting for it to catch up, they're going to zoom in on the moon. Remember, 4 miles away, you saw a stick figure of a man in his shirt, and he's waving, right? You couldn't see details, you couldn't see pimples, you couldn't see follicles of hair, which you should have been able to see if they're using this exact same camera on the moon 238,000 miles away. Now you see the great detail they're getting? Zooming in on this moon?
Damn, I need this.
That's
I
crazy.
need this camera.
That's some great detail, right?
Con.
Oh, it's going to get better. Look. You can see all the craters, the discolorations.
It don't even look perfectly round.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But you're telling me they got all this great detail from 238,000 miles away, but I couldn't even see old boy's face from 4 miles away? I should have been able to see his facial features, man.
Con.
Right? I should have been able to at least see if he had a beard or not.
Con.
That's wild.
238,000 miles away, they got the craters on the moon. Like, if old boy was standing on the moon, they would have got a better picture.
Right, for real though. That's crazy.
Look at this. Every damn crater.
But you can see the
You can see the darkness of the moon.
yeah, you can
Dark
see
parts.
some dark parts of the moon when looking up.
If you look at this
I've
video,
seen
bro, you see the circle craters inside.
Oh, yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not what you think.
I mean, I even heard that.
I remember it's the exact same camera. So again, the lies are being unfolded, right? If the moon is really 238,000 miles away, I shouldn't be getting this kind of detail.
Right, right. I even heard another thing is that like when they're saying they're shooting these rockets out in space, they're really actually blasting like the moon because supposedly there's aliens or whatever that lives on these planets, so they're really blasting at the moon. That's just something I heard. I mean,
I ain't going to
I don't know. The description don't say that, but it's just these craters and whatnot. Like it's from these blasts.
Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna go into this. We're gonna go in more in depth into this, but y'all seeing this this is video evidence, right? This is video evidence that what you've been told in science is not science, man. What you've been told in this society as science is not science. These are lies, man. You understand? This is video evidence that, okay, listen, they're lying to me about how far they said the moon was. The scripture is more truthful than these scientists are telling me.
And then how do they justify? You ever see when the moon is like real big, like a full moon?
Yeah.
How do they justify that?
Yeah.
Like, does it change distance? Y'all seen full moons, right? Where the moon like just looks real big.
Oh yeah.
Comes real close. So what does it do? Does the moon have a zoom feature? It zooms in and zooms out when it wants? Or when they had, I remember one time, man, me and Kazaki were driving to San Antonio, and in the middle of the day, this is not the middle of the day. This is about to be sundown, but it was probably about an hour from sundown. And the moon was going to be one of these real big blood moons or whatever. It was like some wolf moon. And I looked over and you could see the white moon. It was just white. And you could see right through it.
Oh.
You could see the white.
When you see it in the daytime.
Yeah.
Why is the moon blue?
Well, white is white with the bluish.
Yeah.
All the dark
bluish tint.
Yeah. All the dark spots are blue.
Yeah. Why is that? Now the scripture said he made two great lights.
Yeah.
He didn't say he made a solid hunk of earth sitting out there in space.
That glows.
Said he made two great lights. So why is it black or grayish at nighttime, and then in the daytime when you see the moon out, it be blue?
Yeah, it takes whatever color the sky is, and then it has like this little white iridescence. But all it is the dark parts of the moon is what they seem see-through.
Yeah.
Cause that's what we were talking about. Me and Kazaki on the drive. I'm like, bro, look, you can see. Our whole argument was like, is the moon a ball or is it flat? I'm like, bro, that thing's flat. It's not even a thing. It's just you can see right through it. If you wanted to, you can go right through it.
It's a light.
Yeah.
Just like the scripture said, which one makes more sense? That's why I said we're getting video evidence. Which one makes more sense? It's 238,000 miles away, or it's inside the firmament, possibly 70 miles away. Which one looked closer? Did it look like it was 238,000 miles away, or did it look like even better detailed than old boy that was only 4 miles away?
It definitely looked like it was better detailed.
So if science tells me it's 238,000 miles away, and I got P1000, a Nikon P1000 camera, and science tells me it's 238,000 miles away, and another brother come and tell me, it's maybe 70 miles away. Which one am I gonna believe? Having the camera evidence, where I can look through the lens and see. If the scriptures are telling me it's in the firmament, and science is telling me it's 238,000 miles away, and I got a Nikon P1000, I gotta go with the scriptures, man. Because it looks super close.
Even with like eclipses and things, how does the moon eclipse the sun? If they're so far in distance, and they always try to make the sun seem like it's bigger than the moon.
It's supposed to be 33,000 times the size of the Earth.
Earth, right. So, but how do you have solar eclipse? Because that's when the moon comes in front. So, or even lunar eclipse, right? That's when the sun supposedly goes in front.
Well, they use this theory, just like I can block things out with my thumb.
From a distance.
Right.
But the thing is this. The moon, the sun is this vast vessel, right?
Right.
That just radiates
everywhere.
This way, like this.
Enough to light the whole sky.
Right. How do you block out like this? I get that because you do that. You use your thumb and you can block out everybody's head, right? But the sun is supposed to permeate this heat.
Yeah.
How do you block out its heat and the light? Because everything is dark.
See, there's things they can't explain. It's like, okay, if the sun is radiating that much heat, why is it when on a cloudy day the clouds negate the heat? How can we hope for clouds when it's too hot outside?
Right.
The sun 93 million miles away. There ain't no cloud gonna block that.
Like right now, like today, like these last couple of days.
Right.
The temperature doesn't drop.
That should be impossible. Right?
Huh?
But every time we pray for a cloudy day, we pray for some clouds because it's too damn hot. Well, how are the clouds that are on this earth going to affect the sun 93 million miles away?
Like listen,
science don't make sense, right?
It literally changes the temperature. I was driving the other day before it started raining, and I was headed to the mall. I'm headed down 6, and the sun is right here, and it was. At first, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Cause I'm like, man, it's real cool. Nice little breeze was blowing. I looked over, I was like, oh, the clouds are blocking the sun. I was like, man, I hope that stays like that the whole drive. I had the sunroof open because usually. I rock the sunroof and I let the sun just beam down on the ballie,
right?
Keep it tan, right? Keep it even. But that day I was like, wow, I ain't sweating. It's nice. It's cool. Yeah. It was just that the sun was being blocked out by the clouds.
Yeah. It'd be like one cloud change the whole temperature.
Yep.
But the sun is way out there burning us
a lot
to a crisp.
Esau.
Come on, man. But let's get this, man. Let's get this other line. What's that?
No, I just posted a picture where it shows the sun flare is like way bigger than the Earth itself.
Yeah, just a sun flare. That's what they did on that movie, The Knowing.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be a sun flare, just wiped us all out, destroyed the entire planet. One little flare from the sun. Like, how come that hasn't happened in the entire span of human history? Right? The science isn't making sense, man. There's a lot of things, man, as you observe as a scientist, you're gonna see that, nah, man, nature don't even explain that. Nature doesn't excuse what you just said. But let's hit this other line, man. They said the earth is moving, right? The earth is spinning at 186,000 miles an hour. What do the scriptures say? Isaiah 14:7. Somebody else get Zechariah chapter 1, verse 11. We got about a half hour. So the earth is moving. 186,000 miles an hour. That's how fast we're spinning right now. Does anyone feel sick?
Wow.
Because I've been on a boat, got seasick. My girl gets in the car, she get car sick, and she's trying to read at the same time. But we're spinning at 186,000 miles an hour, and my girl can read as long as she's not in the car.
Well, because the earth is so big, and when it moves, you can't feel it.
Right.
So
the bigger it is, the less feeling you have.
No, I was watching Escape.
That's their excuse, though.
I was watching Escape Plan the other day, the little Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
Right.
And they were in a prison on a boat. And he was like, well, how come I'm not moving? How come I don't feel it? He's like, because the boat is 200 feet long, and it's this amount wide, and it's this high, so you can't feel it. I'm like, that's dumb as hell.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's dumb as hell, bro. Because I've been on a cruise. You feel that thing. You feel that way. It don't matter how big you are. It just doesn't make sense.
No, as a matter of fact, if I'm spinning by myself, right? If I'm spinning in a circle by myself, I'm gonna get a little bit dizzy, right? If I get in that big mine shaft ride they used to have in Images, I'm coming off there ready to fall out.
Die.
Right? So the bigger, the worse it is.
Yes. Because you're making bigger loops and longer, and you feel it.
Right, now that's science, because I experienced that. I've spun around in a circle by myself, right? And I've gotten the mine shaft ride. You experiencing that, you're studying these things. But they want you to believe that even though you did it on a small scale, once you get to the size of the earth, you don't feel it. Nah, man, if you are something that big, spinning that fast, you fly. It's gonna throw you off.
I gotta get this one in there.
But read that real quick. Man.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 14, in verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet.
So the scriptures say the whole earth is what?
At rest.
It's spinning erratically at 186,000 miles per hour.
Is at rest.
All right, now scientifically, you can check these out. Find out how many G-forces the human body can handle.
About 2.
I think it's like maybe 9 Gs.
9G? Without crushing yourself to death?
Yeah. We can even look it up. We can ask Siri if you want to.
Fighter jets go about what?
Yeah, because when they try to test out the astronauts, I guess they're damn near ready to pass out at like 9 Gs.
Okay. Yeah. Same thing with fighter jets.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're telling you that the Earth is spinning around at 186,000 miles per hour. Hey Siri, how many G's is 186,000 miles per hour?
Human body.
The answer is about 51.7 billion miles.
What? Even Siri got confused right there.
Right.
Who has evidence of human surviving abnormally high G forces, most notably Air Force officer.
You got it?
He said he withstood 46 Gs, but it only lasted a few seconds.
Okay.
His body had weighed over 77,000 pounds. According to, this is according to the
Hey Siri, how fast is a G?
1 gram is 0.0022
Not that kind of
pounds.
G. Hey Siri, how fast is a G-force?
Okay, I found this on the web for how fast is G-force.
Let's see how they calculate G-forces.
200. Wow.
You got it?
25,000. How many G's is it? 25. Oh no. So 7 G force is 230 miles. Let me see here.
Calculating the G-forces on the drivers is actually quite simple. You just need to know the radius of the turn for the speed of the cars. When the Texas motor scooter, the turns on the track have a radius of 750 feet. During practice, the cars were turning laps at around 230 miles per hour, 370 miles.
How many
Yeah.
miles did they say is spinning? I'll find this.
186,000 miles per hour.
That's how fast the earth moves.
Yeah, supposedly it's spinning at 100. Now, the scripture just said the whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. Right? Who got that in Zechariah? Zechariah 1:11.
Zechariah 1:11. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 11. And they answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees and said, we have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still.
So this is 2 accounts by angels saying that the whole earth is at rest, the whole earth is sitting still. But Esau told you the earth is spinning out in space at 186,000 miles per hour. The scripture said the whole earth is at rest. He said, we'll read that again. What did the angel say?
And they answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees and said, we have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, the earth sitteth still and is at rest.
The earth sits still and is at rest. Again, when's the last time y'all were at the playground? Y'all was little kids, y'all played on the playground? You ever had anybody spin you on that little merry-go-round thing?
Oh, yeah.
Damn near fly off of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if any of y'all had a big brother, a mean big brother, or just a mean big bully kid, you was standing on that thing holding on for dear life.
Yep.
And he was spinning you with all his 98-pound might. Right?
You went airborne.
Yeah.
You go airborne, hold on to that thing.
Now we spinning at 186,000 miles an hour. We should all be flying off the earth right now, through the mist of the ozone layer into the sun.
But no, gravity holds us down.
Right.
Yeah, there it is.
Now let's examine this same super gravity they be talking about, because this gravity is holding billions of gallons of water on a ball that's spinning 186,000 miles per hour.
Right.
But what does it take for a little pound-and-a-half weight bird to leave the ground?
Too flat to the wind.
They're airborne.
Yep.
All that gravity ain't holding these birds and clouds and everything is sticking them to the ground.
Dust particles.
But it's keeping billions of gallons of water stuck to this ball spinning at 186,000 miles an hour in the middle of gravityless space. Remember that?
Right.
So all the excuses the water could have are there, right? The water could just float off because there's no gravity in space. But it's all stuck to this ball, this iron ball. Remember, the core of the earth that they've been to is iron, even though the deepest hole they ever dug is only 70 miles deep. The biggest man-made hole is only 70 miles deep. But they know how hot the core of the earth is and what it's made out of.
Isn't it like almost as hot as the sun?
Yeah, it's molten iron.
Yeah.
And this iron that's melted is somehow magnetic. Enough to stick water to the surface of the earth.
But it doesn't. But that core never ever destroys the actual earth. It never like heats up to
doesn't boil the water.
Boil the water or boil the earth or set the earth on fire somehow.
Right.
Because it's I got like a coating.
Yeah.
You see how you can't even say that with a straight face when you know enough. But they want you to sell this to your children. They want you to look at them as if they're God because they gave you these numbers. They told you this information and they made up these numbers. And it sounds wise, don't it?
No, it's confusing.
Because they got exact numbers. It sounds, hey, you know what you're talking about.
Bro.
But it's all made up. For one, melted iron is not magnetic.
This is.
If you melt iron, it's not going to happen. It's going to lose its magnetic charge. That's just observable science. Y'all see that? You ain't never seen that before. You never seen them melt a horseshoe and it became magnetic. Nah. Y'all see that? But they want you to believe that that's what the core of the earth is. The scriptures are telling you one thing, man. So I just leave it to y'all like this. You choose what you're going to believe. One's observable. The scriptures tell you the whole earth is still and is at rest. I don't feel myself moving. If I'm in a car, y'all ever stood in the back of a pickup truck? Why do you sit down?
Because if you stand up, you might fall.
Yeah, because at about 30 miles an hour, your ass will fly out the back of this truck.
Yeah.
If you don't sit your ass down, right? But 186,000 miles an hour, I could just stand up. I'm good.
Either you're going to fly off or you're going to... Because that's the whole thing about G-force. You can't get a measurement on the speed.
Right.
But that's the thing with G-force. It plants you to whatever is stationary.
Yeah.
But it puts the weight on your body.
Yeah, because the G-force is what they call gravitational force.
Yeah.
So basically, you're going so fast that you're being smashed backward.
Yeah, gravitational
Against
acceleration.
Yeah.
So it puts weight on you. It makes, like I said, old boy's body felt like it was 77,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, at 42 G's.
Wow.
That don't even make sense because 77,000 pounds should crush you.
Yeah, but that's why he said he can only do it for like 2 seconds. Because that's what starts to happen. You start to crush.
Yeah.
It starts to crush you. Pass out, no bleed.
But we're spinning that fast. That's what they say. Now, like I said, we got the scriptures that say one thing, and we got science that says the other. So you got to choose what you're going to believe. Next lie. The sun isn't moving and is 96 million miles away. 96 million miles away, really? We already kind of chopped that up, right? We went to Genesis. We saw how far, where the Most High put the sun. Where did he put it?
Inside the firmament.
Inside the firmament. So it's about the same distance as the moon. But did y'all know the sun is not stationary? Did you? Now, according to science, is the sun stationary?
No, according to science, they said
because we
They
move.
say
Yeah, they
the
say we
earth
move.
moves.
and rotate around it.
Right. The sun's in the middle, and we're all rotating around in the solar system, right?
God.
Let's see what the scriptures say. Get Psalm chapter 19, verse 4.
I got one too.
God.
Book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 4. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world.
Go ahead.
In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun.
Right. So now he's going to describe the sun. He said in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoicing as a strong man to run a race.
Right. So the sun is running a race. It's moving. That's what a runner does, right? A runner is moving. If he's running a track, he's running in laps, right? Ain't that what you see when you see the Olympics? They run in circles, right?
They run a course.
Okay. Well, the scripture said that the sun rejoiceth a strong man to run a race. Read on.
Verse 6. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it.
So the sun's going forth, right, is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of the earth. Now I'm going to read you this definition of the word circuit real quick. It says, a roughly circular line, route, or movement that starts and finishes at the same place.
Good, that's nasty.
So the scriptures tell you the sun goes in a circuit. They telling you that the sun stays stationary, right? But here's the thing. If the sun is staying stationary, then shouldn't it get hotter? Shouldn't we get hotter as we get closer to it? We should be burning up when we get closer to the sun. We should be freezing when we get further away from it. Y'all see that?
Yep.
Now we're assuming that the sun is the only thing that provides us with our heat and our light. But remember, the scriptures say that he just made those greater and lesser lights to rule the day and night. The heat, the light, all that's something else. That's on a whole different ballgame. Remember, if the heat is just provided by the sun, why is it still a hot day? It might not be as hot, but why is it still a hot day when the clouds come out?
Where's that heat coming from?
Right.
How come you can have hot nights?
Come.
They might not be as hot, right?
But it can get hot.
Well, you have hot nights. Well, where's the sun?
Summer nights. Man.
Well, what about like Alaska or something where it's cold?
Yeah, what about Alaska? Freezing cold with 6 months of daytime.
Right.
What's that got to do with the sun?
Right.
Help me. Penguins and polar bears living in a place with 6 months of sunlight. That's crazy, right?
It is.
The nature doesn't explain the science, man. You understand?
Come.
But the scriptures, you can't find one lie. There's nothing that's refuting anything that the scriptures say. Y'all see that?
Come.
What were you going
Go to 1 Ezra 4:34. Just basically right on that. It goes right with it. 1 Ezra 4:34.
1 Ezra 4, verse 34.
Go ahead.
O ye men, are not women strong?
Go ahead.
Great is the earth.
Right.
High is the heaven.
Read.
Swift is the sun in his course.
Swift is the sun in his what?
In his course.
The word course, when you define it in its general sense, a passing, a moving, or motion forward in a direct or curving line, applicable to any body or substance, solid or fluid. Applied to animals running, walking, a race, career, right? Read on.
Was that 1 Ezra
1 Ezra 4:34. Go ahead.
For he compasseth the heavens.
The sun does what?
For he compasseth the heavens.
It tells you that the sun compasses the heavens. The sun moves. Go ahead. We don't float around the sun. Go ahead.
Round about.
Go ahead.
And fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day.
You see that? He goes right back to his tabernacle in one day.
Boom.
That right there tells you.
Yeah.
That right there tells you, man. So that's just another one to add. I always like that one.
Yeah. Go from there. Go to 2 Ezra 4, verse 21. See, because Esau wants you to think that they know everything about space, time, everything like that. So that you see them as the wiser, the older brother, the one to look up to. And then you do what? You naturally despise your own people. That's just what's going to come with it, right? You look at older brother, he's got all the wisdom, and you look at younger brother, he's the dummy, he's the retard, right? You ain't got to listen to him. He's the young kid. That's why even Job said, he said, they that are younger than I, because we don't know that Esau is actually the younger race. It was all black people at first, and then Esau came around and mutated, and they were born red and hairy all over. So Job said in Job 30, verse 1, they that are younger than I have me in derision. Why are they that are younger than I looking down on me? Because they done held themselves up as if they're God. They done came with the discovery that they're the wiser race. They made up so many damn theories and big words for everything that, we're the most intelligent. Y'all see that? That's like they got all my rib, she's studying to be a nurse, man. So they got all these like big, huge words for these words, and you're like, why don't they just say hip bone? You know what I mean? Why don't they just say tailbone? But they got all these great big words for all these things, and it's like, who came up with that? Well, it's the same reasoning. They come up with those big words so they can treat you like you're not intelligent. Oh, you don't know this? You don't know that this is it? Like, come on, man. You made that up, though. You made those words up. Y'all see that? And that's the thing, is that when you really go into the etymology of a lot of these words, the words tell on Esau too. Tell on how disgusting they are. Tell on how they just have a warped mind state and a warped way of looking at things to even name certain things, the things they do. Y'all see that? And there's a lot of examples that kind of flew through my brain for a second, but just so when you look at when you look at a lot of the things that they do, like their holidays, when you look at Easter, and then you trace it back, and it has to do with Ishtar, and then you find out, well, how did they used to worship Ishtar? Oh, well, you had to prostitute yourself in a temple. You know what I mean? Like we went over the weekend. Okay, well, why would I want to use that word so casually around my kids? Oh, because Esau changed it into Easter and they put a bunny on it. And it lays eggs. And it sounds cute now. Y'all see that? But it told on itself in the etymology of the word, in the origin of the word.
Yep.
See that? And now you trace it back to the disgusting, filthy, riotous, against the scriptures living that they were into. See that? Same thing with Christmas. Christ Mass and going into what was actually celebrated was actually the celebration of Bacchus and these just crazy gods that these people made up as an excuse to have sex with little kids. But you're celebrating as Christmas now. And it sounds cute, right? Halloween, all these things, they have these horrible origins when you go into researching the actual word, and it tells on them. But you sound less intelligent if you just call it for what it is. See that? Like when I was in physics class, I wrote off physics because I was like, okay, the physics teacher just spent 2 hours explaining to me the rise and the run and the velocity and all these different big words that they use and calculations and mathematical equations they use. But then at the end of it, he said, this is what a basketball player does when he shoots a shot. A 3-pointer. I said, it didn't take him 2 damn hours. He did it like that. He looked at the hoop. All the calculations come to him. The Spirit tells him what to do. Y'all see that? But you just spent 2 hours giving me all these big fancy words, and if I don't use those big fancy words on this test, I'm going to be counted as unintelligent. But I can guarantee you that old ass 70-year-old math teacher can't even shoot a 3-pointer as good as I can. Right. And I ain't no basketball star.
Right.
Probably among the brothers, I'm probably the worst at basketball. But I guarantee you that physics teacher that I had, he wasn't shooting no hoops like me. But he sat there and taught me for 2 hours how to shoot a 3-pointer. Right. Like he was an expert. Y'all see that? That's the thing, but he was sound intelligent, right? Until I put his ass out on the court. And watch him go 0 for 50. Because if he was as smart as he was talking, he should be in the NBA, right? And if the NBA players was working with all that he was doing, then damn, they should all have degrees. You would think they would all be teaching physics. But one world doesn't collide with the other, does it?
Wow.
That's because the science rarely matches up with the nature. Where you at?
We're at 2nd Esdras, chapter 4, verse 21.
Go ahead, read that.
For like as the ground is given into the wood, and the sea to his floods.
See, just like those are 2 different worlds, the ground is given to the woods, right? The ground stops and the woods start. Right? Just like one got to give place for the other one, right? And the sea to its floods, right? The ground stops and the sea starts, right? Go ahead.
Even so, they that dwell upon the earth may understand nothing but that which is upon the earth.
Wait a minute, so we can understand what's out in outer space?
Nothing but that which is upon the earth.
We've been to other planets and solar systems and black holes and wormholes and all that.
Nothing but that which is upon the earth.
Most I say he only gave you the understanding of what's on earth, and he barely gave y'all that. Because when he came down to the Esdras, he was like, weigh me the weight of fire. Esdras was like, what? I'm not going to weigh you the weight of fire. Well, that's right there on the earth with you. Y'all been using fire to keep yourself warm since the beginning. You don't know how much it weighs by now?
Wow.
Right. But we think we know outer space. We think we know wormholes. Go ahead. Is that it?
La. And he that dwelleth above the heavens may only understand the things that are above the height of the heavens.
Right. Now, if you dwelled above the heavens, then you would understand those things. But do we?
Wow.
We dwell on earth, huh?
So
then we only go understand the things that are on earth. He didn't give no understanding to any man except for Solomon about things that are going on above the earth. Y'all understand that?
Gone.
Let's see. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. See, only people that he exposes that knowledge to are going to know about things that are outside of the earth. That's what the scriptures are showing us.
Obviously, we're going to have to part 2 this.
No doubt.
But it's a good class. But we can get back on it next Wednesday.
I made this last one, and then we'll go. Next time we'll hit the planets.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Wisdom of Solomon 7 verse 17.
Khan. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 verse 17.
So this is Solomon in all his infinite wisdom telling you the wisdom the Most High has given him. Go ahead.
For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made.
Right, so he gave Solomon certain knowledge of how the world was made. Go ahead.
And the operation of the elements.
Right, and of course Solomon ended up teaching the earth. He ended up teaching the world those things. Sheba and all the people that came to visit him, he would teach them. Go ahead.
Verse 18. The beginning, ending, and midst of time.
So one of the lies was that the sun is stationary and we're spinning around it. We just saw through the scriptures that the sun is moving. And this is Solomon. He's going to give you the final stamp on that and tell you the sun is moving. Read.
The alterations of the timing of the turning of the sun.
Read it again.
The alterations of the turning of the sun. And the change of seasons.
See, the alterations of the turning of the sun. So the sun is moving in a circuit and it itself is spinning. If anything. Y'all see that? How do you know? Because you see the sun be different sizes. You see the different times of the day, different times of the year, the sun be different sizes in the sky. But it don't be any hotter or colder. Isn't that crazy? I mean, observe it. If I'm lying, go outside and tell me different. Tomorrow, go outside and see if the sun was a different size than it was yesterday. It'll be there. It'll be a different size. Because it changes in the sky. It changes where it is. It has circuits.
Just like the moon.
You understand? Yeah. But they didn't teach you this stuff in science class, right? They taught you a whole different ball game. The sun's the same size, sitting in the middle of space somewhere, and we're just floating around it. Oh, I can't. If you even the stuff that you have to say with a straight face, we're orbiting the sun in the exact same orbit every year, right?
Never changes.
But we're traveling through space at millions of miles per hour, away from where we originally exploded from, in the middle of space. And as we're exploding away from the original Big Bang, we're somehow maintaining this exact circular orbit year by year around the sun. And all the planets and the sun, the satellites, like the sun and the moon and all that, like the moon and the stars, they're all orbiting us in the exact same orbit as we're hurtling away from the original explosion. Have you ever seen anything explode like that? Huh? Yeah, I watch a lot of Discovery Channel, History Channel, where they're showing explosions of things. I watch a lot of Rambo movies. You know what I mean? A lot of Schwarzenegger movies. I never saw something explode and everything around it just stayed in, you know what I mean? Like as Schwarzenegger's jumping out of the building that's exploding.
Yeah.
And then all these things just start orbiting around him in a perfect orbit. Does that ever happen? No, because explosions don't work like that. It's chaos. It's random. But they want you to maintain that there's all this order in this explosion. That's crazy, yeah. It's hard to even say with a straight face, man.
This seems much more simple and believable.
You know how they got us?
The way the scriptures say it.
Right, the way the scriptures say it.
You know how they got us? They made that Earth model. Yeah. Where they put the Earth.
Oh yeah.
And they put all the planets. Remember that? And they had the sun, and
Yep.
they made it rotate.
Yeah.
Copernicus and all
And
that.
act like they showed you like how the Earth turned, how the sun moved, and how the planets. Or was it the Earth moving around the sun? See, I forgot. How they
Yeah, the sun is there, and we all move around.
We all move around it,
Yeah.
right? We all move around the sun, and the sun was this huge ball, and then all the other planets were just these little small ones. And then they had the moon that did its thing. It rotated also.
And that all looks nice, right?
It was dope.
Hey, you gotta think, because they say these stars they're like billions of miles away, right?
Right.
They're billions of miles away, and they're hurtling through space also.
Right.
Now, when I look up in the sky, I see the exact same Big Dipper that Harriet Tubman was following.
Con.
Right.
To leave the slaves out of slavery.
Con.
I see the exact same Big Dipper that Job was talking about 4,000 years ago. Help me. We're hurtling through space now.
Uh-huh.
The stars are out there, hurtling through space from this explosion. But for some reason, they're always in the exact same formation for thousands of years. Somebody's lying.
Con.
Somebody's got to be lying, man. What's that?
Man, you know what's interesting is the way Esau does this. It's one of my favorite movies. It's called The Tree of Life. The way that they show the whole Big Bang and how light came in. They try to say like a volcano brought the light. It's crazy, but I was watching the making of how they depict these planets. Oh, they was just using like milk, dye, and like this camera trying to show like how these planets were like formed and all the color, and it's all manipulation. Like how they
look just as real as what they give you as science, right?
Yep.
But you know, here's the thing: when you read Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 35 down, he tells you that the stars, they're all stationary. He put them in their watches. Did y'all know that?
Con.
Now, we've been taught that they're burning balls of gas, burning billions of miles away.
Right.
And that there's binary stars that cross in front of each other, and that's why some of them twinkle. Right? And there's different, you know, there's some of them, they're shooting stars. Right? So that some of the stars just randomly decide to fly across space at millions of miles an hour. Right? But the scripture told you they're stationary. Now, when the scripture said they're stationary, and you look up in the sky, you still see the Big Dipper, Orion, all the constellations, all in the exact same place. Then you watch History Channel, and you see that the cavemen of the Anasazi caves, right, were drawing the Big Dipper and Orion and all that in the exact same damn sky that you're looking at right now. And they drew them in the exact same formation that you're looking at when you look up in the sky, thousands of years ago. But they telling you all this stuff is flying around. Which one's lying? One's telling me the truth that I can observe. One's telling me what I can look and see with my own eyes. And the other is telling me fairy tales, man. The other's telling me blah, 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 blah theory. Blah, 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 hypothesis. That's what they tagging on to the end of everything they say. But why are we believing science and not the Most High? Why are we so quick to read to believe what they say and then let them discount the scriptures? Let them say, oh yeah, we made up Christ. Or yeah, you know, this is when the actual Sabbath day is. Why are we letting them tell us anything? When they've historically and categorically, pathologically lied to us, and we sit here and read every word of the scripture is true.
Hey, somebody gave the class a thumbs down?
There's always that one person that's been doing that lately.
Wow.
Oh, that's a glow head.
Wow.
The earth is round, nigga. Thumbs down.
Listen, man, y'all got we're gonna let him finish it next week. It's 9, so you know we're on a 2-hour grind. So yeah, we'll come back next week with part 2. It's a good class. Good class, man. I mean, there's a lot more. Even just looking at it that we can add to it, that he can add to it. So, any questions?
Finish this soon.
Let me see. What about the Allen rays?
The Van Allen radiation belts.
Yeah.
Again, that's what their scientists are saying. So, again, somebody's lying. Their scientists say that once you go outside the Earth's atmosphere, that the rays from the sun, the different types of rays, create this belt of radiation around the Earth. That if you were to leave out of there, that literally you, unless you were in something that was like foot thick, solid steel all the way around,
Or lead.
you would literally fry like a potato chip in a microwave. All right, but they saying they went out to the moon.
So you had to have no.
They went out into outer space in that thing that they shot up there in 1969. The Richard Nixon was able to call from a landline. Landline.
You can't even get reception. You can't even get reception in Houston.
Right. You go to the food court first
In the
time.
mall and you can't get a reception.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom, your phone lose cell phone service.
God.
But we went to the moon and Richard Nixon called them from a landline.
Presidential
In
landline.
60. Yeah, it was.
Call it from the presidential, the red phone.
Yeah.
The red phone in the Oval Office.
Now I talked to some of the NASA people. I talked to one of the guys that works over there, and he's the one that made sense out of it to me. He talked to me like I was retarded. He was like, "No, we didn't go to the moon in 1969." He said, "Listen, the amount of space in your cell phone is more just the file that you hold your pictures in on your cell phone is more than the supercomputer was in 1969." That supercomputer took up the whole bottom of NASA. Took up a whole bottom floor of NASA. And it didn't even hold what your picture file holds on your cell phone right now.
Crazy.
And then you tell him, and then he was like, "And you telling me from then to now, we never went back? With all the technology we got now, we still can't send somebody to the moon." He was talking to me like I was stupid. I'm like, "Well, you're NASA. You supposed to tell me we went. You supposed to be justifying it." He was like, "No, there's nothing that justifies that. There's nothing that justifies people thinking we went to the moon." I was like, "Damn." Now remember, we're in Houston for the all online. We're in Houston. Houston, we have a problem. NASA's right down there. We talk to these cats when we working in the mall. They're saying it. Oh, what's that?
Another thing I heard is like NASA is like it's kind of the same acronym as Nazi because there's like no black folk working there.
That's not true.
No, they have
Like-
black
People
like-
working NASA.
I mean, but not like
The brother that told me was a brother.
These so-called
You talking about
astronauts.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
No astronauts went up there, and then the one black woman they did try to send up there the other time, the Challenger, they blew her ass up.
Nah, yeah, because even they got the movie about the 3 black women that work for NASA.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I meant.
Yeah.
I meant.
The astronauts ain't black.
Right, the astronauts. Oh, the people that go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good.
They did.
But it's a lot to think about, man. It's a lot that we want to just open your eyes to, man. That's our job, to show you that the scriptures are true. Like it says, let the Most High be true and every man a liar, man. Stop trusting this system. Stop trusting this society with what you know is reality, what you know is true. The scriptures are the only truth. They're the only thing you can categorically depend on as you read through and check. You can fact check everything scripture, and it'll come out fact. But when you fact check what they say, it's gonna be lies almost every time. Huh?
Con.
But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. We do prayer before? No. We do not.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody online, it's 9:07. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. It was a good class. We'll be back we'll be back Saturday for Shabbat class. So we'll see y'all online then. Kazak and the crew will be doing class tomorrow from Virginia. So look out for that. Let's salute everybody online. Let's say shalom.
Shalom.
We'll see y'all back here Saturday.
Do you wanna fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock. TK. Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible.